Okay. People, pay attention.
Got the illest phone stand ever.
Yeah.
Talking about ingenuity. We talking about black people ingenuity.
Let's go get to it. Let's go get to it.
Oh,
y'all ready?
Yeah. Yo, welcome. We back. Now we back. We gonna go ahead and jump straight into it. We back. Welcome to Let's Cook. I got my partner with me.
Hey.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. It's your boy LES, dark skin less. Yes, I said dark skin because I don't smile in pictures and I don't smile in hoes' faces.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, son. Holy moly guacamole. Okay.
You know why I put my mask on?
Take a sip of my water.
You know I put my mask on after that? There's a lot of pollution in the air after that one. That's all I'm saying.
Dark skin less.
Dark skin less.
Dark skin less.
My
Let's
goodness.
get to it.
Brother.
Hey, so this is Les Cook. I'm Les. This is DJ Knots for y'all that don't know. We got Jay on the boards. Talk to him, sir.
How y'all doing?
Yes.
Whatever time y'all listening.
Yeah, she
Welcome
on
back.
the way, though. She on the way.
Momentarily.
She on the way. So, we back, right?
One more time.
So, what I wanted to talk, we just going to jump right into shit tonight.
Because you got a lot.
Yeah, voter suppression.
Wow. We starting off with that one?
Yeah, voter suppression.
Okay.
It is big here in Atlanta, Georgia, and the surrounding areas of the metro Atlanta area. What we are seeing is a all-out, I guess, attack against everybody and everything to stop, specifically black people, from voting. Union City, I remember the BLM leader here in Georgia was saying that the last person in Union City voted at 12:37 a.m.
In the last election?
in the last election.
So that was in, what, March?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. The lines were long. They were sending people different places. I used to be one of the people that didn't think my vote counted. I used to think I was one of the people that said, man, if voting mattered, they pay you for it. But
That's hard.
That sounds like a Chris Rock punchline. But
no, I'm being dead ass with you, man.
That's hard.
I used to think that if your vote really mattered, they pay you for it. And right now, we can see that our votes do matter, and they want them all. But some of the votes they don't want, just like in Florida, where the outgoing governor Rick Scott has willingly suppressed about 1.4 million people who were in the justice system that got out. They passed a bill saying that we were going to let people who have gone to jail and got out of prison vote now. And then they passed a bill saying they have to go back and look through it and see. I don't know what they're trying to see, what they're trying to do, but you guys aren't slick. You're just trying to suppress that 1.4 million. If the last election has taught us anything, I think Donald Trump won by 79,000 votes.
He didn't win.
Easy, bro. He's there.
He didn't win by popular vote.
there.
That's what you got to.
Popular vote is not all that matters.
No, that's what I'm saying. I figured that 79,000 you was talking about was coming from the popular vote. Or you coming from?
I'm talking about the electoral college.
Oh, okay, my bad. All right, go ahead, continue.
You know
on.
what I'm saying?
I'm gonna continue doing
and
what
so
I'm
these,
doing. All right.
These are things that we don't consider when we vote. I think, especially black media now, we need to use our platforms to educate the people out here to vote. Like I truly believe that. I think we're no longer in a space where we can afford not to vote. Like that those days are long gone, where we sit down and say, hands off, I don't want to vote. We're not going to vote. It doesn't matter if we vote. Our votes matter, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be trying to suppress us from not doing it. So I just wanted to open the floor to conversation tonight about actual voter suppression and where it sits at, because we live in Georgia. For those that are joining us, we live in Georgia. We've seen the long lines. We've seen the misguidance that they give us. Oh, go here, go here. If your name is spelled with apostrophe and it's not on the ballot that way, you won't get to vote. So listen, make sure you guys fill out your registrations correctly. Make sure everything matches on your IDs. And when you go down there to vote, go vote. You know.
Hold on. I don't mean to cut you off.
I'm taking my water, man. Go for it.
Okay, all right. To piggyback off of that, early voting is a real thing. Do that. Don't let these people, because in the state of Georgia, so many voting precincts have been shut down over the past few years. Okay, so with that automatically shortens the pool, right, of where you can vote. Then in the middle of all that, different voting laws and different voting rules and regulations change throughout that, and they don't send that out in mass. You see what I'm saying? To where everybody in the different communities know what's up. So now you have a person who may have had a precinct, and then that gets shut down. No one tells them where they need to go until they show up somewhere and they say, oh, this isn't where you need to go. This happened to me years ago for voting. And what I realize is, as they're closing these places, as they're changing the rules up, not only that, but in those communities that they closed them up in, those people, not only do they not know where to go after that, they sometimes those places are outside of their communities. So how are you voting in a community that isn't even yours? And some of the people may not even be on
the ballot.
So you see what I'm saying? So hold on. So along with that, because I'm just laying out all the different things that are there to hinder us, why you need to try to vote early anyway. Also in the state of Georgia, a lot of times if the frequency of people showing up on voting day isn't of a certain magnitude, they'll shut down early. So if polling stations are supposed to be closed at 9, they'll start closing up at 8. One of our past elections earlier this year, they had to reopen a voting station.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So you're looking at all this, and we have broken machines, and we don't have enough machines. So we don't have enough machines, and the machines we do have are fucked up, and nobody's there to teach us or show us how to fucking use them. So you have all of these things that are going to hinder you on voting day. So when they say vote early, people, go and vote early.
Yeah, traditionally, black people go and vote early. You know, what Donald Trump is doing right now, I don't know if everybody is watching his moves. He is on his last legs. So what he is doing is he's trying to scare the hell out of white people. Like the playbook
the first time, so he's trying again.
Yeah, but the play like Donald Trump looks like he's running for the first term ever. Like it doesn't seem like he's a repeat presidential candidate. Like he's got something to run off of. It's the same shit. You know, the black people are coming into your neighborhoods. With me, they won't be doing it. You know, and people fall for these things. I saw a ad where Joe Biden's America was going to leave you without police for 5 years. And you're going to get murdered, right?
Cut it out.
But they're saying that that's going to happen then. All of the things that Donald Trump is talking about that are happening now in his America. And so, you know, people are crazy enough to believe these things because, you know, we have the Trump loyalists out here and everything that he says they go with. So his new thing is to bait white people into believing that this election is going to ruin their lives.
Of course.
Now, it might ruin your life if you're a white supremacist. I can't lie to you. If you're a white supremacist, this election may ruin your fucking life.
Much.
You know, because I feel like we're at a turn for things. That doesn't mean that we truly love Joe Biden's dumb ass. You know, but the hypocrisy, the racial inequality that has been going on for such a long time with Donald Trump, it's different. This is just a different type of element that we're doing. You know, but his objective, number one, for this election is to scare white people into voting. Number one. He's trying his hardest to make everybody believe that mail-in ballots are just voter fraud. And we don't have a voter fraud problem in this country. No. Like what we have is
he's just better than Trump.
There's a difference between voter fraud and voter suppression.
Correct. We have a voter suppression problem in this country.
Absolutely.
You know, Georgia shouldn't be lined up for 12 hours trying to get people into stations to vote.
No state should.
You know,
not just Georgia.
I'm just saying, I'm talking about the state that I'm in right now because North Carolina is having a problem. Rick Scott in Florida, on his way out being the governor, is suppressing about 1.4 million people who have voting rights that have been reinstalled, you know, after they come out of prisons and jails and stuff. And they know most of that population is black. So if you can pass a bill to stop that legally, then you win, you know.
Right.
But Donald Trump is so stupid. He's super moronic. Like, old people vote by mail, especially white people. That's how they get it out here. You know, but he knows for a fact.
In those rural areas,
of course. But he knows that black people are universally scared of this COVID problem.
Right.
And so he's going to try to make us believe that if we do it, then it's going to be a problem. Our vote's not going to count. He's trying to get to us at that point. Do not let that man stop you from getting to these polls. November 3rd, we need to be out. Don't be a Facebook advocate. Don't be an Instagram advocate. Don't fight the power on all of these platforms and then not get out and vote.
Word.
Like, if you truly have had enough of this shit, like we've had enough of this shit and we're tired of talking about this shit, let's do something about this shit, you know? My mama's calling me in the middle of a set. You got to knock it off, Mom.
He ain't mean it.
But, you know, these are things that we no longer need to be a part of. Like, we don't need to accept things that are not of us. Like, COVID has done a lot of good in this country. It has been horrible for the country. Let me be real. But it's done a lot of good. It's exposed a lot of these people that you believe were on your side. A lot of bad behavior from our other constituents has been proven to be as bad as we thought it has been. Like, a lot of the fears that black people have had over the years, like, yo, man, like, that mother is tripping.
Yeah.
Like, it's really tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really have been tripping. Like, we are not the source of our mental unstableness. We're not mentally unstable. You mother is a tripping.
Look how he edited himself.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
thank you, brother.
We are not tripping. Like, we know that you guys behave badly. We see, and I hate to say this, white women need to govern themselves, bro. Because if you guys have a whole new category of being a whole new person, then you're out of bounds.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, you talking about Karen.
Yes, we talking about Karen.
I want to say one thing to that, and I'm going to get back to the voter suppression thing real quick. All I'm saying is, white women, listen to me really quickly. If you're listening,
Phil's about to be reckless.
If you're listening to the show, or watching us on social media or what have you, I just want you to think about something. Okay, a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump were white women.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm just saying, you voted for Mr. Grab 'em by the pussy.
They know that.
Okay,
oh, wow.
so all I'm saying is, for any of our lady listeners, okay, if for nothing else, please think about it. A person on this ballot had multiple sexual assault charges pending prior to his last run for this thing, and has been heard and recorded saying, if I see a woman I like, I just grab her by the pussy. So if that's the person that you want to continue to make decisions on behalf of you in this country, I need you to seek some counseling right now. That's not beneficial to you, me, or anybody else in this country.
You can't ask them to think about something, then call them mentally challenged, brother. It doesn't work that way.
No. If you think about it for a second, I'm hoping that you'll realize, okay, this is a little off, and I'll go seek help. Anyway, now, moving on. Hold on. Back to the voter suppression.
Before you get to that point, right, I want to make something clear. So I had a conversation with a woman that said she voted for Donald Trump. And her thoughts were, policy is more important than his rhetoric. Mm-hmm. Now, that is something that maybe we need to adapt in this state of politics. Because if the policy is more important than the rhetoric, we may be able to deal with stuff a little more better. Now,
but his policy is his rhetoric. That's the dangerous part.
It is absolutely
because
that.
He came in with no plan, said, I'm not going to hire anybody who has a plan. I'm going to fire everybody who does have a plan, and I'm just going to do this. He's blindfold hanging out the car with a chopper. He don't care who can get it.
That's where we're at.
You know what I'm saying?
So listen, I'm gonna be
on.
honest with you. I saw the last couple of interviews that Donald Trump has done with Axis and I forgot the other man. And for him to say it is what it is, that's the type of person that that's dangerous. Like I want everybody in America to understand. I hear black, white, green, purple, brown, yellow talk about how much they hate corporate America. Donald Trump is the epitome of corporate America. It is what it is how they live by. You die, they put somebody in your place and move on to the next thing. They have a email and blast it out. Yeah. That's what it's about.
America is about the bottom line.
I don't understand how people are upset with Donald Trump for saying it is what it is. This is who he's always been. Yeah. In business, this is how it is carried on. This is how it's moved forth. They can't operate how we operate on a human level because it's about their bottom line and money for them. Mm-hmm. So Donald Trump saying it is what it is exactly how he feels about it. 160,000 Americans dead. It is what it is. People die every day, B.
For real.
You get shot every day,
Bro,
B. Right? So I need y'all to understand this. Don't get too caught in the emotion of what he says. It's what he does is what you need to be worried about.
Now, hold on. Tag me in.
Go for it.
Okay. Because the only reason I said tag me in is because I want this to be known because our home base is Atlanta, Georgia.
Correct.
Okay. So on a personal note, for any
by way of Charleston, South Carolina, and Fort Lauderdale, Florida,
you already know. And you already know what it is.
New York.
Yeah, we ain't gonna leave knots out.
We ain't gonna
leave them out. But anyway, so for the state of Georgia, I need you to really recognize something when we talk about voter suppression. Okay, the last major case of voter suppression before
March.
Yeah, before March. March we had bad voter suppression.
It was
which
horrible.
Was ridiculous. Right?
It's horrible.
But now let me show y'all something. Okay, we all know the name Stacey Abrams. One time for Stacey Abrams.
Yo, Brian Kemp is a POS.
So, yes,
pure POS.
So.
Let him finish his point because you got to go somewhere else.
Very much so. Well, I'm gonna give him an alley-oop here. Okay, so we're talking about voter suppression. The biggest hit of voter suppression that made national news from Atlanta was the gubernatorial race between Governor Kemp and Stacey Abrams.
I don't even know if that's voter suppression.
No, hold on. It was so much so.
It was blatant cheating.
It was so much so that there was a lawsuit. So now let me explain why this was so pivotal and what type of shenanigans we're dealing with here. Okay. Governor Kemp did not resign from his position.
Of course. What did he do though?
No, hold on. I gotta say what his position was.
Tell him what position he was.
Hold on, that's what I'm about to do. Okay. So Governor Kemp held a position while running for governor as the state's chief elections officer.
Yes.
What that means is
he controls
the entire voting process.
He controls it
in the state of Georgia. He oversaw that. So you're supposed to resign from that.
No.
Prior to.
You don't have to resign, but good candidates, honest candidates do resign because they don't want to seem like they're cheating.
Because this is definitely a conflict of interest.
It's not a conflict of interest. It's fucking cheating.
No, wait. Before it even comes to the cheating part, before the actual voting happens, when you decide you're going to campaign for this, okay, I understand. They always say you don't quit your job before you get another job, right? However, you ain't hurting for nothing, my nigga. Like for you,
Brian Kemp, you are not my nigga, bro.
For you to still hold a position like that, just the optics of it, right? That's one of my favorite words, right? Just the optics of it looks foul. We know for a fact that you're foul, and this person is aligned lockstep with the aforementioned gentleman who occupies the White House. So for my people in Georgia, at some point, you have to call a spade a spade. You have to call the person who occupies the position of governor of Georgia is a cheating, disrespectful bastard.
POS.
and you ready to send kids to school out here in the middle of a pandemic, and you the first nigga to open up the blackest city in the country. You, my
Listen,
dude.
I'm so over these governors. I'm so over these mayors. I'm so over everything. But it all starts at the top. We all know that, right? Like
we're not downhill.
We're not crazy. I want you to understand something. When you vote, make sure you vote for who you want to vote for. I don't want black people to think that I'm persuading them to vote one way or another. I want you to take your
24 then. Goddamn.
You said what?
What's the $20 bill you got me playing?
I want you to take your vote and make it count, right? I want you to understand something, Mr. Joe Biden. I'm talking directly to you, sir.
Uh-oh.
You got $280 million worth of campaign money that you're going to do for ads and all of that other good stuff, right? You make sure black media gets some of that too. You know, you guys can no longer just use us as a tool. We won't be running no Joe Biden anything around here. And probably after the day is going to be the last time we mention your name, sir. But when these people get in office, that isn't it. We need to make sure we hold their feet to the fire. Like, we need to make sure we protest the same way that you guys protested the first day that Donald Trump was in. I don't think people remember that day. Mm-hmm. Like, that first day that he was in office, nobody was there. They were all outside of the White House protesting because, number one, they couldn't believe you cheated to get inside. I mean, to win this thing. Looking back on 2016, man, it seems so far in the rear view. COVID-19 has just rocked this world so much that this is our lives now. Mask, hand sanitizer, not going anywhere, not hanging out with the people that you love, not interacting is a normal part of our life at this much. I want you guys to understand that Donald Trump created this atmosphere.
You putting all that on him?
Let me show you why.
Okay. I mean, he deserved some of it. But go ahead.
He didn't say
Listen, hold on. You ready?
COVID.
You ready? Listen, I want you to understand something. I think it was 2015 when President Barack Obama created a task force for pandemic, right? He created a task force to try to stop some of this type of stuff, to veer off. And he said, if we do not have the infrastructure for this type of thing, we will become under attack by this type of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
And then Trump.
So we elected a businessman. That's what everybody in America keeps telling us. We elected a businessman, right?
Having another politician.
They wanted a businessman. The businessman came in and said, I'm taking this down because in business, I don't want people around that aren't doing anything. So he felt like the people who were there to protect us from a pandemic weren't doing anything.
Time out.
Let's go.
Time out. That is not why he took down the pandemic.
Bro, that is exactly why he took
the
it down.
The reason he took it down is because Obama created it. That is a first and last of 80% of the different programs that he's taken down.
I'm not talking about us. I'm talking
about Trump.
Listen to me. I'm not talking about the reason why we believe it is, right? I'm talking about every black person out there that believes that having a businessman was good for this country instead of a politician. I'm talking business to you. In business, people do what? They get rid of people who are not working. If you're not working the company, you're costing them money, right?
Right.
And then what happens when you're costing people money? They cut you loose, right?
Right.
So his reasoning for
his excuse, because it wasn't
exactly his excuse for disbanding the pandemic council was they were doing nothing.
Right.
And now, a year later, when 2019, when this hit, we are all in this pandemic, and only thing he wants to do is place blame at other people's feet. It's the China flu. Every time he says it's the China flu, I get upset. I'm like, look, bro, it ain't in China no more. It's the American flu, because right now it's here in America and it's ravishing everything.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? There's 160,000 people dead. Now, they know, Democrats and Republicans know, that people cannot afford to not send their kids back to school. So this causes a divide between people who can and cannot.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying to you? So all of this is just a political ploy for him to split votes. And if you dummies are dumb enough to vote for Kanye West, God bless you. God bless you. Because that boy there need extra help Monday through night.
Wait a minute. So you can't just jump to Kanye.
No. I had to get him in there, bro, because he's been wilding out, bro. Kanye's been wilding, bro.
All right, finish your first thought, though, because you was on a roll.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying to you, Donald Trump has submerged us into this type of culture. And, you know, I don't want him to fix it. I don't think he needs a second term to fix it. I think we need to just go ahead and start from scratch, period. Now, Joe Biden will be a one-term president.
How you figure that?
Bro.
Hold on. Wait,
knock it off, bro.
Wait now.
Knock it off.
Wait, hold on. This. I can float with him on that, but I'm going to tell you why I can float with him on that. Okay? I think that with this climate, if any other candidate wins,
God damn it, Bernie shouldn't have dropped out.
Yeah, I'm mad that he dropped out.
He didn't really drop out.
If any other candidate wins over Trump, any other candidate, what that's gonna do is there's so many people right now that are dying to get Trump out. I believe that there's some people, some folks that are laying in the cut because they know it's going to be hard right now to try to be put. They knew it was going to be kind of hard right now to put themselves in position to go after presidency. So I think it's almost like, okay, whoever comes in next, that's just a reset from Trump. So hold on. So I think it's some folks like, because remember when Obama came in, nobody really knew who he was till about maybe a year or so before he started running. I'm not saying there's going to be another Obama at all. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I believe that there's going to be somebody who during this time frame right now, they have sparked an interest in the political ranks. They may have had a small place in it, but I think right now folks are galvanizing themselves. I think what we saw when the first go round of everybody jumping in the pool for the nomination, it was a gazillion people in both parties trying to vie for that spot. And we saw that it in a pretty good speed started to dwindle down. You can separate the weak links. I think it's some strong people laying in the cut right now, tightening their skills up because they know I wouldn't have a chance right now trying to step in this race. But if you give me a few years and I can work my moves and I can build some connections and I can get the capital up, and I think it's some folks that of a different, we'll finally start seeing a different generation moving into the political sphere. I'm not saying anybody my age.
It's called progressives.
But I think we'll start seeing more 50-year-olds.
It's called the Green Party.
It's called the Green Party. Like that is us. So we are them.
I don't know about.
So that's actually my question, though. I see what you're saying, though, Jay.
It's one of those things where I think that whoever gets elected into that place, I think partly they will know they're a placeholder for something better to come.
So here goes my question. What would it take for y'all to not vote Democrat or Republican anymore? Because people are tired of this two-party system.
Yeah,
what would it take?
But see, I think that's the illusion that people are under. There are more than two parties that you can vote for.
Not really. Not really. We have a shot to win. Hold on.
There is. But when you start to look at the ballot, once you start getting into the higher ranks, the president, vice president, you know what I'm saying, those higher ranks, they remove all that shit from the ballot. They go, okay, what party are you choosing for?
No, so
Democrat or Republican?
So y'all not gonna answer my question?
That's on the last ballot.
What it would take for me, right?
So
listen, what it would take for me to not vote in any of these parties,
right,
would be just a candidate that held all of the things that are near and dear to me.
So,
you know, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
for me. You know, one thing I respected about what the white woman told me was she chose policy over his rhetoric. And you could say his rhetoric
the white woman you just talked
Correct.
to. Okay, I'm like,
correct.
White woman.
So, no, not you, my brother.
No,
I'm telling you that the policies would have to align with what I truly need to happen.
Okay, stop right there. So wait before you finish. Did you agree with a majority, not all, of Barack's policies in his first term when he first ran?
Sir, let me tell you something. I'm going to be really, and I needed to tell you this. I was going to say this anyway. I needed to tell you this. Barack Obama, I owe you an apology, sir. From deep down.
I know. Look, I know you look confused, but I know why he's saying
Deep down, bro.
I wanna answer the
Like
question.
deep down. Hold on. Because when Barack Obama first came out, man, I was so elated that someone that looked like me is running for president, like for real, like going at you hard body. Mm-hmm. And that was enough for me to vote for him. You know what I'm saying? That was enough for him to get my vote, because I know for a fact there were some people on the other side that only voted against him because he was black. You know what I'm saying? So his policies didn't matter to me at that point. Right? And then I'm going to be really honest with you. I got disenchanted with how things were going, because I felt like he's the first person. He was supposed to take care of us. He was supposed to make sure that black people were supposed to be doing all of the things that we needed to happen and to make it happen and all this other stuff, right?
Right.
But he couldn't do that. And then after I realized he couldn't do those things, I got further disenchanted, because I realized that he was the 44th and not the last. You understand what I'm telling you? I realized after the 44th, there was going to be a 45th president. And that really soured me on voting. That really soured me on a lot of things, because I felt like we shouldn't have had another president as bad as we've had with Donald Trump. I feel like it should have been progressives running at that point on both sides, whether it was Democrats or Republicans. Something progressive needed to happen. We needed to push American culture forward faster. But
Okay, I'm going to divert from what I was originally going to ask to this then. What makes you think that? What part of anything that happened in the last 12 years would make you think that this country would have the same ideology? And what you're saying makes sense to me. But what made you think that everything else or everyone else in this country for the last 140, 180, 220 years would think the same way you're thinking?
Because,
What
you know, at
indications
that moment, I believed that my generation was up next. See, we weren't up next. We just got a chance to vote in what was next. Like, our generation is up next. Like, we're here now. This is our shit now.
When you say our generation, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about people that are 45 and under to 20, 25, 30, in that range.
No matter what race.
No matter what race.
Okay.
We are next.
Okay.
Now, I didn't understand how everybody spent all of this time in schools together. Like, nobody talks about integration anymore, correct?
I do.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying.
No, en masse, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
Nobody talks about integration. Nobody talks about interracial marriages. Nobody talks about interracial dating. At that point, I'm in my mind progressively thinking we need to now change this world. And what Donald Trump and these other races have reminded me of is that it wasn't our time. It wasn't our time. So me being disenchanted with Obama being the 44th and not the last president is what really, really put me in a bad position. And I should have really, really enjoyed him being the president more than I actually did, instead of criticizing a lot of what he did, because I felt like he wasn't doing enough at the time for black people, not truly understanding that he couldn't do a lot of the things because people were going to block it. They were going to make sure it didn't happen. Like this thing that Donald Trump is throwing in our faces, that he did the what is that called? Not police reform.
It's too many to choose from.
He's talking about he's done more for black people ever.
Jobs, employment?
No, not
Protecting
employment.
civil rights?
No, my brother. That's
equal
Lyndon
rights?
Baines Johnson.
I can run down the list. Like
That was Lyndon Baines. We're talking about he did criminal justice reform.
Yeah, okay, that was next.
You know what I'm saying? Criminal justice reform, where he was helping people get out of jail. And so he can flaunt those type of things. But not knowing that was on the floor for Obama to prove, and they blocked that shit.
Yeah, I know.
You understand what I'm saying? And so I apologize, because I just knew that he wasn't doing enough for black people. And a lot of black people thought like me. They were thinking, man, first black president, we need to get us.
Right.
We need to get us.
Where are my reparations?
You know what I'm saying? And that just couldn't happen at that time, because it wasn't our time.
No.
Bro.
Stop right there.
Go for it.
Let me tell you why it wasn't our time. We didn't follow up with the midterm elections to support Obama in those initiatives.
That's called voter
That's
suppression.
really where it starts and
A
where
lot
it
of voter
ends.
suppression happened.
That's what I'm saying. So a lot. Well, no, it's not just voter suppression. We did not show up for those midterm
Of course,
elections like we
because
shouldn't have.
it was over because the black guy won then.
Yeah, exactly. But that's exactly my point. So we can't just use that as a scapegoat and saying like, oh yeah, that's why it didn't happen. Like, no, we know why it didn't happen. And then y'all looking at him the same way, like, yo, why don't you get these laws passed? He's like, yo, I'm putting everything in it. I'm vetoing all the BS that we normally have to deal with, right? I just don't have the supporters behind me who are going to say, hey, this needs to make us happen. Do y'all forget the damn, the State of the Address, the State of the Union addresses, where you got people yelling things out, talking about calling him a liar?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? People forget those things.
No,
It's like,
I don't.
This is what he's dealing with.
My favorite presidential moment was when that nigga threw the shoe at George Bush.
But no, that was before, though. That was in Iraq. That was in Iraq when that happened. But the point is, though, it wasn't just to that extent. But let me backtrack before I get on that tirade.
Hold on.
My original question was,
Go for it.
If Barack Obama, and I'm going to come back to you, Jake. I want to hear what you got to say. If Barack Obama was a part of the Green Party in 2008, would y'all have voted for him?
Yes. Too easy.
Really?
Too easy. It's too easy.
Okay.
Him being in the Green Party, would that have changed him from being black?
I can hear you. I hear you.
Him being in the Green Party, would that have changed him from being black?
No.
Okay, well, it was too easy then. That's a too easy question. That's too easy. Let me tell you something. Hold on.
Even though he probably would have lost.
Of course.
So
Because that was the very first time we actually believed
Somebody
this
could win.
black man could actually win. Folks loved when Jesse ran, but
Don't
they
be
didn't
disrespecting
believe.
Jesse like that. I was about to
Listen
say.
to me.
Don't
Listen
be
to me,
Bro,
Listen
you know
to me.
Jesse Jackson wasn't
Folks,
winning now.
remember, we're old enough to remember stories about Jesse.
Y'all know Jesse
1988,
Jackson wasn't
92.
winning
Come
though.
on,
So,
man. Come on.
here's
What's
the
going
thing.
on, L'Oreal?
84.
We see you out there. Michael Thompson. What's going on, Andre Parker? We in the building. I don't want to think y'all think we not paying y'all no attention. Bernard, what's happening, brother? Siobhan, you know what I'm saying? L'Oreal, Tidra, Tanisha, Angela, Jason. Well, we shouting out folks tonight, man. We appreciate y'all watching, you know.
Listen to this conversation about politics on a Friday. God damn.
Hey,
What we thinking about?
It ain't like niggas is partying right now. They at the crib.
Ain't no parties going on and shit.
Hold up. So a couple things.
Okay, go ahead.
A couple things.
Hey, listen, man, we got hot girl shit to talk about, so we need to get to it.
I'm glad you said
All right,
that.
go
I
ahead,
can't even
talk
fix
about
my mouth to say that. But anyway, go ahead, Jay.
I mean, if we need to move on, go ahead.
No. Make your point, man, because you've been waiting patiently. So
Absolutely, brother.
there's better be some Einstein. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
When is it not though?
So,
When is it not? My brother's a genius.
we need horns. We need horns.
Hit me with
Hold
the
on.
track.
Not that one.
Listen to the track.
Go ahead, Jay. What did you say?
Move it.
So in talking about Obama and all of that, right?
Nigga, did you put the church finger up?
Yeah, he just had to.
Oh wow.
Just came and dimmed
Oh,
the
we got
light.
a whole, listen, it's a situation now.
Maybe I do need to change the subject.
It's a situation.
Change the mood, like nigga.
Nah,
okay.
that shit was beaming on me like, Malibu out here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna drop this a little bit.
We
Just
just
a
hot
little bit
shit.
clearer. I've been having my mask on, y'all. You know we.
Oh shit, Barry White has
quarantining.
joined the building.
We quarantining. You know what I'm
Barry
saying?
White
Social
is in the
distancing.
building.
Not Barry. I'm more so Black Moses, more like more Isaac Hayes on him. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna see me in a picture with my bald head and big gold chains on. Remake Black Moses. Anyway, so
Black Messiah and Judas.
I will be seeing it. The only upsetting
Can you
thing I
stay
have.
on?
Hold on,
Stop
hold on,
letting
real
me get you
quick.
off topic.
The only upsetting thing I feel about that is how aggressive they're making Fred Hampton.
Jay, can we get
he
to
ain't
that?
never screamed at a nigga at the podium.
We had a
What are you talking about?
transition.
Not,
We got a
not,
transition.
not the one that they're talking about.
I
Not the one that they're
love, I
showing.
love Fred Hampton.
Not the one that they're showing. Oh, his DNA is in all of us.
Hey, finish your point, and then we can get to that, please.
Rest in power, Chairman. So,
The great.
Just finish this.
but the good brother Michael Eric Dyson once said about Obama.
Doctor.
Yes,
The doctor.
Michael Eric Dyson.
There we go. Let's clean that up.
Well, I said good brother. Good grief. But he once said about Barack Obama, he said, I love the fact that we have a black president, but he's Jackie Robinson. I'm waiting on Hank Aaron. when you said he's the 44th and there was going to be a 45th, I, like you, hope that things would have been a little bit more progressive. But as a lot of black folks, we kind of anticipated the pushback. We just didn't think it would be as catastrophic as this. Hold on, let me get the floor.
I apologize.
So it's when during his term when we were upset, you know, when us as the black community felt like he wasn't doing enough, that's where the Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron thing came into play. The first one isn't going to be able to accomplish everything that we want because he's the first one. You still got to get acclimated. People still got to warm up, all of that good stuff, right? But aside from that, we got to think this was the first minority president in every single minority group, any marginalized group, any non-white Christian male group wanted their causes to be heard and fought for because finally there's a minority in office. So you're supposed to cover every minority, and that includes white people in certain groupings that feel that they are a minority.
Poor white people are a minority. So I don't think they know that, but okay, continue.
So when you're up against that, as well as up against people who are blatantly opposing anything that you say and do just because for sport, I didn't expect him to get but so far. However, this is why I said what I said earlier. I feel that it's too many people of a generation now that saw what decency looked like in the office. Just decency. If for nothing else, this country, we know what a president is supposed to look like. And even though all of them are different, there's one thing that we can say, no matter how dumb, no matter how we agreed or disagreed with all the presidents beforehand, this is a whole different fucking case. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that there's people like, there's that old guard. The reason they fought back so hard is because they're dying out. You ever seen a person starting to lose their glory, or a person, I don't mean to sound insensitive, but a person who may just start to be succumbing to Alzheimer's? It's like they're fighting to hold on to anything that they can remember. Their days of old, their youth, their childhood, the stuff that they know. And so right now, it's 70-year-old motherfuckers that's, yeah, I'm back on the motherfucker, my bad.
No, you're good. I'm not on live. You straight there.
But there's a whole generation of like 70-year-old people that's still fighting and clamoring and hold on to, like, the reason folks hated Bernie Sanders because he reminded them of the hippies they tried to wipe out years ago. You know what I'm saying? The hippies was aligned too much with other people. Exactly.
And
so
he's for socialism.
It's one of those things where I feel that in order for there to really be genuine change, our generation has to be willing to support the 50-year-old people that are running for those offices and the 20-somethings that are out here pushing the line out in the street. We got that bridge. You know what I'm saying? And I think when it comes to this whole next wave of voting, and I'm done, wherever you are, look at your own community, your own city, your own state. It starts with that. Know who's running in your area. I'm tightening up on that myself because I don't want to feel like they pulling the wool over my head and I done voted for somebody whose name is Dante Johnson, and Dante Johnson is right there riding with the enemy. You see what I'm saying? I need to know, because we also suffer from just voting for the black names or the names we think are black names, the names that we think are different. Like, we need to know, we need to get up on game. We need to, and as friends, if I know some information, I need to explain that to you. I need to, those are the things that are going to change our politics in the future.
That's why we're here at Let's Cook, to let you know who's running, where they're running, and where they're running at.
Is that why we're here?
Hey, I'm
about to say, like,
we're here to educate.
I didn't sign up for that. Like, wait a minute.
You know what I'm saying? You
so
just
listen,
said
I want you.
You talking about we giving them the whole ballot?
Let's
3033 represent.
We can talk about these folks out here still trying to have a hot girl summer in the middle of a pandemic.
Yes, we will get to that. But before you go, last thing on voter suppression. You got anything left?
Nah, I'm good.
How about you?
You know I do. So, like I was saying, last Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
This fool.
Now, all jokes aside, I got to bring the energy up just a little bit because y'all are so serious and so on point what you're saying. But one of the most important things, I'm not even sure when this is going to air. I don't know who. You on live, so maybe a couple people hear this. But yeah, it's another group that I have been working with called Our Mission, Our Voice. We've been working on voter registration here in the city of Atlanta.
For them.
Our Mission, Our Voice.
Talk to them.
At Our Mission, Our Voice on Instagram. Where actually the main focus that we're working on is voter registration between now and November, actually October, because October 7th, is the last day you can register to vote and still vote in the presidential election. So we're trying to make sure that we're covering places not just here in Atlanta, but outside. So tomorrow morning we'll be in Griffin, Georgia. 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. out there registering people to vote. Also still getting people involved in the census because the census matters. Because
yes,
when we
do.
Listen, man, this stuff is real. It's not something we just talk about. So
what's the name of the page again? Say it again.
Our Mission, Our Voice.
All right.
On Instagram and on Facebook. Shout out my man Calvin ATL. Shout out Shar Bates, Fort Knox, several other dope people who are involved making that happen and go down. But yeah, at Our Mission, at Our Voice. So we're helping people to get registered at these different events, putting on little shows, entertaining the people. But it's also about the main focus is making sure you register, making sure that you're on the right voter ballot.
Yes.
The voter rolls that you guys were talking about earlier, that's the other big thing about it. So I just wanted to share that. There's some other organizations that Hip Hop Gets Back is working with outside of the state of Georgia who are helping to do the same thing that we're going to be sharing as well. Why is he calling me?
Bobby Womack is calling you. So listen, to wrap this up, if you don't know if you are registered or not, go to voter.org. You can see if you are registered to vote. Please, please, please get out there. Do
that
your part.
includes convicted felons.
Absolutely.
Look and see. I'm a
Please
convicted
check the
felon and
laws
I
on
can
what
vote.
you guys got. I just want you guys to know they're playing a serious game here. And if you don't take this seriously, it will be in the same mess, probably worse, this next 4 years. So let's tighten up. Let's make sure we do what we got to do. Voter suppression is real. So let's get out there and beat these polls, man. Black people have always predominantly gone to the polls to vote, just so our vote mattered, just so we know it's counted. If you're doing mail-in, let's request it now. Do not wait. If you're a felon and you don't know if your state lets you vote, call your legislator, man. It only takes 2-3 minutes. Call your legislator, man. Let's get on the phones. Let's make this happen. This is part 1. Voter suppression. Let's cook. This dark skin Les, Jay Fleming. You know what I'm saying? I'm dark skin Les because, I don't smile in pictures or in hoes' faces.